Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Monday, April 3rd. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Indiana game is in 153 days. The game against Michigan in 237 days. The Ohio State defense, kind of a little bit of a cause for concern for Ohio State fans entering the spring football season. And now 8 practices in to a 15-practice schedule. Ohio State fans might be feeling a little bit better about that defense. The defense won Saturday's, not quite scrimmage, but won Saturday's winner-loser practice, I guess, in a pretty impressive performance against the offense. And so today we're going to be talking a little bit more about that defense and specifically about the secondary. The secondary got a lot of attention last year, especially towards the end of the year, not always for great reasons. And the Buckeyes this year working very hard to make sure that whatever attention they get this fall is for much more positive reasons than it was towards the end of the Michigan and Georgia games last year. So let's start with one of the new guys in that secondary, Davison Igbinosun, transfer from Ole Miss. He goes by Dave as well. Jim Knowles called him IGB at one point last week. So Davison, Dave, IGB, whatever you want to call him, he is walking into a room with other guys who've already been there. That is kind of the nature of life as a transfer. So what is that like? Is he nervous about kind of rocking the boat in that corner room?
I feel like my play speaks for itself, so I feel like other good football players have to embrace me because I'm also a good football player, I feel like. So I feel like if you see real, you will accept it.
This will be Davison Igbinosun's second season as a college football player. He started 10 games last year at Ole Miss, so how much does that experience bring him confidence entering this season with Ohio State?
Right, exactly. So, like, coming in as a freshman last year, that's probably the hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. So I feel like nothing else, like everything that happens to me moving forward is not going to be as hard.
As someone who got a pretty good start to his career at Ole Miss, again, 10 starts as a true freshman, you think it's a fair question. Why would you transfer? What led to the decision to enter the transfer portal after a pretty solid freshman season at Ole Miss?
Okay, so Chris Partridge, the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss last year, he got fired. And I just felt like he was the main reason why I went down there in the first place. So I just feel like him getting fired, it was an opportunity to explore other options.
So once he did enter the portal, how long did it take before he heard from Ohio State once he was actually in that transfer portal and legally able to hear from the Buckeyes? You're going to hear that answer and then a follow-up from Dan Hope of 11 Warriors.
It was kind of late after I entered the portal. I feel like I was already getting recruited. It was kind of, so I want to, it was probably late. So probably the week, like the last day I spent in the portal, he called me. Like, I wouldn't say last day. So I had a visit to UCLA, I want to say on Friday, maybe Tuesday, Ryan Day called me.
Tuesday after that visit?
No, Tuesday, yes, Tuesday before.
So it kind of all came together very quickly.
Yes, it did.
You've probably heard us describe Davison Igbinosun as a player, and you've heard Jim Knowles talk about Davison Igbinosun as a player this spring as well. But how would Davison Igbinosun describe his own game?
I'm a big corner. I'm a physical corner. I want to put my hands on you. I'm going to come up, make tackles. I'm going to get pass breakups, get interceptions. I'm also a ball hawk as well. I just do a little bit of everything.
Next up is Cam Martinez. Cam Martinez is working this spring with the ones at the nickel position, and Jihad Carter, the transfer from Syracuse, who was also working at the nickel position, hurt his knee, it looked like, on Saturday during that scrimmage. We are still waiting for official word, but if he is not able to go for at least a little while, or potentially longer than that, then it really probably is Cam Martinez's job to lose. He's been working with the ones there already. So what has that been like for him after backing up Tanner McAllister there last year?
Feels really good. I think the main thing for me is just consistency, and just knowing the confidence I have for myself too as well. I feel like I've been building that. I built that last year, building that again with just the second year under my belt with defense and everything like that too. Tanner was a really good mentor for me as well, and I've been healthy this year too as well. So I think just kind of putting all those things together, all the little things together, and just stacking each day by day. And I feel like that's just really the biggest things I need to work on this offseason.
I mentioned a minute ago the uncertainty around Jihad Carter's injury, and the Buckeyes just in general don't like to talk about injuries a lot when they happen. So that can sometimes lead to guys maybe taking some flack unfairly because they're playing banged up and no one really knows about it. So you never want to sound like you're making excuses and talking about injuries later, but, what was Cam Martinez's 2022 like? Because he was maybe a little more banged up than a lot of people knew.
Yeah, I mean, so there was a lot of ups and downs. Week 3, I had a sprained ankle, and it was kind of lingering for a few weeks, and I kind of re-aggravated it again towards the end of the season too. Never really felt 100% when I was playing. Never felt the best, and I think that was something that had caught up to me towards the end as well. And this year was kind of big for me just to be healthy and not be able to not sit out any practices, anything like that. But that was something that was wearing me down a lot, I would say, last season, and it's just something that I'm trying to avoid and don't want to get back to again.
Jim Knowles has talked about getting guys with corner experience to play at that nickel position, which Ohio State kind of considers a safety position, but it's really kind of a combination of safety and a lot of corner responsibilities as well. And corner experience is something that Cam Martinez does have. So is that something he views as important to play that spot?
I feel like it's really important. The way I see it a lot too is I'm really an inside corner. I'm just playing from off. It's kind of the way I kind of simplified it, especially learning it. Now there's sometimes I will be able to play safety as well and rotate, but main job is stopping the man in front of me. That's the first and foremost thing, and that's how it was on the outside as well. And that's kind of just a lot of stuff that correlated to that, and I feel like that was an easy transition for me being an inside.
Guys talk all the time about trying to build confidence in the spring to get ready to play in the fall. So how do you actually do that? And does going up against someone like Marvin Harrison help, or is that maybe a little bit of a confidence shaker sometimes too?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going against the best receiver in the country, and you're able to stop him and make plays on him, I mean, that boosts your confidence more than anything for sure. But it's mainly just reps. I'm still fairly new at this position. I would say this is my 4th year going into it, and I feel like each year has definitely progressed for me a lot. Like I said, spring ball really helps. Being able to come here practice 1, none really felt like I had to have training wheels on or anything like that, taking the training wheels off. It was mainly just a continuation for me from bowl practice, and that's kind of how I carry on to it.
Love this question from our own Tony Gerdeman. He asked, what is it like to finally be in the same defense 2 seasons in a row?
It feels really good. It's actually, I was actually talking to my parents about it. It's kind of crazy because this is the first year doing that. I didn't have to, every year I had to learn or, kind of get to, build relationships with the new coach, new defense and everything like that, and just kind of, taking on the mental reps and all that stuff. But now it's like I can come out here and I can just play and just be myself. And I think that's really good. Like I said, I really like this coaching staff. I really like what we're able to do. And I think that's helped me take my game to the next level.
Cam Martinez played 175 snaps last year, according to Dan Hope's invaluable snap count tracker at 11 Warriors. So that is almost as many as Josh Proctor and Jair Brown, who are guys who you maybe think of as people who maybe played a lot more than Cam Martinez might have last year. So how was that experience, all those snaps last year, how is that paying off for Cam Martinez now?
Yeah, I think it's just showing up on the field just by making plays. There's a lot of stuff. I think you need those game reps to be able to grow, honestly. Yeah. And I feel like I was able to do that last year. Maybe I didn't get as much as I wanted to, and especially being banged up didn't help me a lot either. But being able to do that now and just kind of, taking on spring practice and, making those plays and everything and how natural a lot of stuff is. And I think that kind of correlates to game reps that we've had in the past.
And the third guy you're going to be hearing from this morning is Lathan Ransom. He, you always hear guys talk about how it's always the toughest winter workouts. It's always the toughest practices every year. It's the old version of the baseball spring training cliche. Everyone's in the best shape of their life. Well, it's true again this year. You are hearing that the practices and workouts have been harder than they have ever been before. But, according to Lathan Ransom, maybe there's a reason you're hearing it this time.
I mean, because obviously we fell short of a lot of our goals that we had. And, that's not accepted here. That's not accepted. That's not. We don't come here to do that. So I think that it's just ramped up more than ever now, and we just can't fall short again.
Ransom is working at the boundary safety spot this spring. That is the spot that Jim Knowles will call the bandit position. So what can he do this year that he didn't do last year?
I mean, a lot of things, man. I'm here because I want to improve on things that I wasn't maybe. I didn't like the way I played at last year. I mean. All types of things. I think I'm trying to improve my game all around. Be the most consistent. Try to be the most consistent safety in the country. I mean, that's really what I want to do.
Ransom was asked the difference in his role this season compared to the 2022 season. I thought it was interesting where he took this question.
Definitely got to step up more as a leader. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Step up more as a leader, and that's basically my biggest step up more as a leader, and be consistent. Consistent is big. My biggest thing is just consistent because that's my biggest goal.
Ransom was healthy for most of last season, but he was very much not healthy for the last offseason. You may remember he broke his leg on a kickoff return against Utah in the Rose Bowl. He was trying to cover a kick return. Utah ran it back, and Ransom broke his leg on that same play. That was a very bad play, and it led to Ransom missing pretty much the entire offseason last year and really only getting back very, very close to the season. So now that he's healthy this year and actually getting to go through spring ball, how big of a difference is that? And versus how much was he playing catch-up this time last year?
I mean, most definitely, man. I mean, definitely a little catch. I felt a little rushed, and then, now it's like I get time to get my body to feel 100%, my mind to feel 100%, and then get out there and just, like I said, just get with the guys, and we get a lot of reps. I mean, the ones are taking a lot of reps, and just take advantage of those reps and get better as a whole defense.
Finally mentioned that he is playing that bandit or boundary safety position, and that's a spot that in the Jim Knowles scheme maybe plays a little bit of a bigger role in the run game than some of the other safety spots. So when you're balancing the run responsibilities and the pass responsibilities, how challenging is that? And then you're going to hear his answer on that, and then you're going to hear a couple of follow-ups from Clay Hall of Channel 6.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest thing to work on is be the best overall safety, talking about run stop and in the coverage. I mean, I'm not trying to be one or the other. I'm trying to be as most versatile as I can be, and that's what I really want to focus on.
What are you weighing at?
I'm weighing about 208, 210.
Is that up?
Yeah, I've never weighed that. Thank you. No, I've never weighed that much. I think, Coach Mick, that was our biggest thing in the offseason is look like some of them safeties that were in the combine and getting ready for the draft. And, focus really with Coach Mick, Kayla, nutritionist, get my body right, and, appreciate them.
How much did you weigh last year?
How much did I weigh last year?
Yeah.
Not 210, I'll tell you that.
Well, that will do it for the secondary talk for today. And then the secondary is probably a little bit of a secondary concern this week because it is a big, big week for recruiting. The Buckeyes had a ton of visitors on campus for Saturday student appreciation practice. A lot of visitors made an offer to a 2024 quarterback. Aaron Noland, is he going to be the guy in the class? We will not have to wait too long to find out. He's set to announce his decision next Saturday. We're going to try and have Mark Givler on tomorrow's show to kind of recap, once he's had a chance to talk to some of these guys, recap where things stand with a lot of the guys who visited with Ohio State over the weekend. Could commitments be coming? Sounds like the answer is maybe, so we'll be tracking all of that at BuckeyeHuddle.com. Mark had a really good, interesting report on some of those visitors on the huddle board at BuckeyeHuddle.com on Sunday. Much more will be coming later on this week. So if you want to get the inside scoop on all of that stuff, you're going to want to sign up today at BuckeyeHuddle.com. Get access to our fantastic team of insiders on that message board, covering, Mark's Skull Session column, Alex's A-Deck column. They absolutely kill it on recruiting. They have their daily recruiting feature, Eyes on the Trail. It is just, there is so much coverage there of all the recruiting stuff in what is a very busy time on the recruiting calendar. So make sure you sign up today at BuckeyeHuddle.com. That will do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.